We all spend hours in the graphics menu trying to get the game looking and feeling just right. But what if I told you the most powerful settings for maximum realism aren't in the settings menu at all? You've maxed out every graphic setting you can think of. You spend hours trying to get it right, but sometimes it still feels off. Your truck handles a little too perfectly. The shadows have the sharpness of a block of cheese, and the world just doesn't quite feel alive. What if the 5 biggest realism improvements aren't in a mod or a menu? They are actually hidden in a single text file, just waiting for you to flip the switch. This takes less than 2 minutes, and it will completely change how you see the road. Any future game updates never alter these tweaks. You don't need high-end graphic cards like an RTX 490, and if you can rename a file in Windows, you're already qualified. So let's begin. So before we start anything, you need to know where to find the file. So what you need to do is go into your Documents folder. From your Documents folder, you need to go into Euro Truck Simulator 2. And then once you're in there, you need to look a little bit further down and you will see a file that says config, C-O-N-F-I-G. And then you need to open this up with something like Notepad. It would probably be the best option. Once you've done that, and you're looking at what just seems like a whole jumble of text, the first thing you need to do is CTRL, which is your control button, plus A if you're on Windows. And what we're going to do, we're going to copy all this text. Okay, so we're going to copy it. We're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call the new folder config backup. Okay, because we need to save this file. It's so important that we do that, because we never want to make an edit in here without doing a save. So we can always come back to it should something go a little bit wayward. So we're just basically saving our own bacon. So once you've done that and you save the file and put it somewhere else on your computer, 2 are the biggest changes. Well, no, I can't say they're the biggest, but they are big changes. The first one we're going to do is the blurry shadows. And the second one we're going to do is the mirrors. Because you know, and I know, you're driving along, you look in your mirror and absolutely fine. And then all of a sudden there's 20 cars just magically appear. And you wonder, how did that happen? So starting with the shadows, open your config file. And what you need to do now is press CTRL, which is control again, and F. And this will bring up a search bar at the top. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put all this information into a Google document, which should be available in the video description for you. So starting off, we're going to put the first one we're going to put in is R sun shadow texture size. By default, this is probably set to maybe 2048 or 4096, but we want to get those razor sharp shadows. So to do this, we want to change the value to 8192. Perfect. Next, we're going to look at the mirrors. Now, as a real trucker, I need to see the traffic far behind me. It's just the way it is, not have it just appear. So what we need to do now is search for _mirror, _view, _distance, and crank that value up. The default should be pretty low, but I set mine to 300, but obviously you can tweak this for your own personal benefit, but for me, I set mine at 300. This gives me a much more realistic view of the motorway behind me. One is one I've seen in forums and online sort of places, people requesting about the traffic. Now, if you want to take control of the traffic, you can do bits in game, but by doing it this way, you have total control. First thing you need to do is find the line which says G_traffic. The default generally is 1, but if you want quiet, relaxing, chilled out country roads, if you just want to have a nice cruise along, you can set this to something like 0.5. But if you want the chaos of a realistic rush hour, you can turn this up to maybe 3.5 or 4.0. But just be warned though, my friends, your computer might have a bit of a complaint. The higher you go, it does zip out a lot of power, the higher the number. You set space score averaging window length. Setting this to double your monitor's refresh rate can easily smooth out frame delivery and make your experience a lot smoother. For example, if you've got a 60Hz monitor, you change it to 120. If you've got a 180Hz monitor, you change it to 360, and so on. You get my drift. Quickly going off course a little bit. Going back to that Google document I mentioned earlier, I have put my entire in-game graphic settings in there as well. And also I've put my personal config file, the one you see me using on screen. Now you can either use this as a guide or just copy it over. It is your choice at the end of the day. And it is my gift to you for supporting the channel. And if you want to thank me back, then feel free to give me a digital handshake and hit that like button. It costs nothing, but it does tell YouTube you're getting something from the video. And it does help our channel grow a lot more, which is awesome. The next two changes we're going to make. You've probably done this bit, but for those who haven't, it's worth you noticing that what you need to do is unlock the game's secret toolkit. This is for anyone who loves taking screenshots, or if you want a full control over your simulation. We're going to enable the developer tools. You need to change two lines. First, you need to find G_developer and change the 0 to a 1. Then find G_console and change this from 0 to a number 1 as well. Now what this does, obviously it's incredible, but it does some things that really help you out because it unlocks the developer camera. All you need to do is just press 0 on your number pad and you can fly anywhere with a mouse and your numpad using certain keys. And I use this just to get myself out of sticky situations. For example, when the road disappears in front of you because of a bug in game. It's happened to me before, but by using the developer tool, I've got out the situation and got on with my game. The next one, it gives you access to the developer console. To do this, you press the tittle key. That's basically the little squiggly line next to number 1 on your keyboard. And you get this command window, which can seem a bit daunting. But as long as you kind of make a note of these commands, and there are many videos on YouTube that do explain it. The first one, and the one I use a lot, is G_set_time followed by a number like 15. Using the 24-hour clock, that would mean 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Basically, what it does, it means I can jump forward if I need be in-game for whatever reason. Now, there are another 30-something tweaks to do, and obviously I'm not going to torment you by going through every single one by one. We've made our shadows sharper, our mirrors more realistic, and taking control of our traffic. We've also unlocked the developer camera and the console for the developer. But like I said, I'm not going to put you through that pain. Everything you need is in the Google document. You know how to find it. You know how to search for the actual lines. Just go and have some fun with it. Enjoy it. But please, please, please don't forget to make a copy of your config file just in case you need to go back there for whatever reason. For you NVIDIA users, a quick trip to the NVIDIA control panel, or if you're on an AMD, you'll have very similar options. If you need to know where to find it, go to your desktop, right click on your mouse, go to show more options, click on that, and then you will see the option for the NVIDIA control panel, or the AMD. The first thing we need to change is the texture filtering. The negative LOD bias, change this to clamp. This one is huge for reducing that annoying shimmering on things like fences, rails, anything that shines basically. The next one we want to do is the texture filtering. Now you want to set this to high quality. And the third and final one we want to do is the trill near optimization. Make sure you turn this off. Once you've done that, you need to give your PC a restart and you should see noticeable sharper textures in the game straight away. But in the meantime, thank you for watching and have a great day.